to the season finale of the Four Nerds by Nerds Mandalorian Minute. I'm Josh.
I am Ben.
There's Grogu. His big dead eyes. They make his eyes so black in any of the toys.
Yeah.
There's no life to him at all.
You got to look really close to see the iris.
It's hard to find a Grogu that actually, I think, looks like Grogu. Like, I don't think any of the Funko Pops really look like him.
Nope. This is as close as I've seen, but there's some black, what do they call it? The Black Series ones with hair. They're insane.
So we are going to discuss episode 8, chapter 16, season 2 of The Mandalorian. The Rescue.
The Rescue.
This is it. This is what it's all been working towards. Phenomenal episode. Where do we start? They start off. They hijack a Imperial cruiser.
Yep.
Like the one that the Emperor would show up to the Death Star on.
The one the Doctor was on.
Yeah, it's got a big wing. I'm very curious because they chased it down in the Slave One, and then they did whatever the comparison of like stun mode would be.
Oh, yeah, they did an ion pulse.
Yeah, so it's like an EMP, just kind of shut the ship down temporarily.
Yep.
But then they like dock onto it, and it's like, did they where? Like, because it went above them, but there's a big fin on the top of the ship. So where the fuck did they land?
I don't know, but every spaceship in Star Wars history has a universal docking port for some reason.
Yeah. Like that. Let me connect to your universal docking port. Bow, bow, bow. I'm gonna put some music in there. Hey girl, I'm too busy staring at your universal docking port. So were those pilots twins?
They look like twins.
They looked exactly alike, but they could not sound more different.
Right.
One of them had a British accent, and one of them didn't.
Maybe that was the point. Maybe they're all supposed to be, just so universal.
There's two pilots, and they're carrying the cloning scientist from season 1 who had Grogu, who was doing tests on Grogu originally. And they want him to like break down the schematics of the ship. One of the pilots, he shoots the other pilot, takes that doctor hostage.
Yeah, because he was just giving up the ship. He's like, I'm not with these motherfuckers. You can just come take. So he takes him out like this is how the new the new regime is going. Just if you don't fall in line, you're done.
And he starts shit talking Cara Dune.
Cara Dune.
About because her rebellion teardrop tattoo is like for the destruction of Alderaan.
Right.
She's from Alderaan.
She's a survivor of Alderaan.
And he says he was on the Death Star. He looked a little young for that.
Well, and she's like, which one? That's a running joke because that's all Star Wars ever builds is Death Stars.
She just winds up shooting him in the face, and they take that guy anyways.
Right? She wasn't waiting for his shit. And you can see, even though you can't see his face, but Mando's like,
Yeah.
Like, shit, I didn't see that coming.
So they get this doctor. They're having him break down the ins and out of the ship. This is where Moff Gideon's going to be. This is where Grogu is. This is where the container of Dark Troopers are. And he explains that they're kept in like cold fusion because they run too hot.
Yeah, their batteries can only last so long, so they keep them frozen.
Very weird. And it's very weird that he's like, we finally have the perfect like servants here. Like we got rid of the human aspect. It's like you already had a droid army. Like you had a droid army before you got stormtroopers. Like
right.
So how are you having like they're having like overheating issues like these are the first droids. It's like there are droids everywhere.
You should have this perfected already.
Like you shouldn't have any issue.
None whatsoever.
Mando and Boba Fett walk into a bar.
Sounds like a dirty joke starting.
Yeah, hey Ben, 2 Mandalorians walk into a bar.
And see other Mandalorians. Oh my god.
Yeah. A bar full of people, but Sasha Banks and Katie Sackhoff, Bo-Katan, and whatever Sasha Banks' name is, are sitting there eating. And they walk up, they're like, we need your help. And Bo-Katan is like, not all Mandalorians are bounty hunters. And I love how not everyone had some sort of attachment to Grogu. But anytime he goes, they took the child, everyone's like,
motherfucker,
yeah, I'm in.
Maybe they're really attached to Mando's feelings because they know he's upset to like, let's do this.
Yeah, and Boba Fett says something, and Bo-Katan is immediately like, she's been around enough clone troopers to know.
Yeah,
she's like, you're not a Mandalorian, and he's like, I didn't say I was, which irritated me a bit because A, for about 30 years he was the only Mandalorian we knew, and B, he walks around with a Mandalorian crest on his arm, and he just painted his armor, so he repainted that on there.
Oh yeah, well that was his dad's crest, right?
So yeah, he walks around claiming Mandalore, but they're like, he's like, no, I'm not a Mandalorian. I don't give a fuck. Like,
he's a rogue Mandalorian. Mandalorian.
Yeah, Boba Fett and Sasha Banks scrap a little bit. She gives Boba Fett a tornado DDT through a table.
That was awesome.
Very WWE.
Yep.
And then they're like, yeah, we'll work with you. Like once he's like, Moff Gideon has him, you can come get your Darksaber back. And she's like, oh fuck yeah, we're in it now. And then it's just on from there. They set it up where Boba Fett's gonna chase that Imperial cruiser. They're all on the Imperial cruiser except for Boba Fett. Boba Fett's gonna chase them through. They're gonna go through light speed and come out right in front of Moff Gideon's ship, and then act like they're an Imperial ship that's in distress and need to emergency land.
Like they're dogfighting almost.
Yeah. So they come out, fucking guns a-blazing, and the Moff Gideon ship's just like, no, you can't board. We'll send out some TIE fighters. And that TIE fighter launching sequence was really cool.
Yeah, I love that.
Where it like lined up to the bay and then you launched it from the pilot's point of view. That was really cool.
Yeah, it was really neat.
This episode was directed by Peyton Reed, who did Ant-Man and Ant-Man 2.
Right.
So, no surprise there's good special effects. So eventually they're just like, fuck it, we'll crash into the landing pad.
Yeah, they're like, no, we can't wait. We got to dock now.
Yeah, and they just crash on in there, and then Boba Fett's just like, peace, light speed.
I think he took out some TIE fighters.
Yeah, took out some TIE fighters, dodged some gunners on the top of the ship, and then just bolted. And then it's just on. The deal is like, they'll make distractions so that's who everyone will be looking for, and then Mando can just kind of like sneak around. He has his Beskar spear with him, and he's ready for action.
Yeah, you knew that was going to come into play. But also the point of this was so Bo-Katan could take out Moff Gideon.
Yeah, she tells him she wants a Darksaber because it was created by the original Mandalorian that was in the first Mandalorian that ever joined the Jedi Order. Made this Darksaber, and it can cut through anything except for Beskar. What you'd think if it was a Mandalorian making a weapon, they would make it so it could cut through Beskar.
True. Very true.
So he goes sneaking around. His objective is to like get rid of all the Dark Troopers before they can like wake up, because it takes some time for them to get ready when they're first awoken, to get rid of them and then to get to Grogu and rescue him. So they're just fucking, the rest of them are just mowing down stone troopers
left and right.
It's just a fucking murder field. Mando gets to the dark troopers like just at the wrong moment. Like the whole time he's on his way there, there's just cutting into like tubes popping off of them and them like moving a leg and getting ready and moving forward and getting in formation.
Yep, their power cells lighting up.
And this was all very like Terminator.
Very.
It was very intense and scary, just like a T-800.
Yep.
Because he goes to launch them and one of them gets through the door. Only one. The rest are all trapped. They're trying to like punch down the door. And this thing is kicking the shit out of Mando.
He takes him for a ride, man. He took him all over the inside of that bay.
Are those things covered with Beskar? They seem to be, because his rockets didn't work. Nothing worked.
Nothing.
They're
Blasters didn't
blaster-proof?
work. Must be.
I guess
it,
they're not because of what happens later to them. We'll get to there when we get to there. But Mando finally he melts it a little bit on the inside with his flamethrower, sets it on fire, and then he's able to like spear up through its neck and cut its head off.
Yeah, I mean that's the only way to take it down was to decapitate it. I mean that sounds normal.
And then he jettisons all the rest of them out into outer space because every room seems to have an airlock to outer space in it.
Why wouldn't you? Come on.
Yeah, why wouldn't that be not a safe thing to have?
You'd think they'd learn after losing a whole bunch of soldiers earlier in the season.
You think?
Let's not put an airlock on this one.
Yeah, the rest of the crew, they take the brig, but Moff Gideon is not there.
They took the bridge. They took the bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And then Mando gets to Grogu, but Moff Gideon's there. Pretty much Darksaber to throat on the child here.
Yeah. You know what? Almost pissed myself when I saw that. I was like, oh god.
And Mando's just basically like, I don't give a fuck about any of this. Like, just give me the kid, and then I'll go away. Like, I don't fucking care.
Yep. You can have whatever you want. I'm out of here.
And Moff Gideon's like, just assume that I know everything. Like, I knew you were going to be here. That's why I'm here. I know your little rocket launcher on your wrist is empty. Like, I know everything. And his performance in this scene is very good. I mean, it's not surprising, but I mean, he really makes you believe that, like, he doesn't care, like, for any of this. He can go. He got what he wanted. He's just trying to better the Republic and shit. And Mando's like, all right. He takes Grogu and he goes to leave. And of course, he is attacked.
Yeah.
Immediately.
I mean, how would that not be the case?
Yeah. You can't not have the fight.
I kind of saw that coming. I was like, there's no way he'd go this far and then just give up.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
I was like, he needs that baby. He needs the child. He needs Grogu's midi-chlorians. And he's not just going to say, here, take the kid. I don't care.
So they have a little scuffle. It doesn't. The Darksaber won't cut through the Beskar, but it sure as fuck heats it up. I mean, that thing gets red to the touch there.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic.
Like it was gonna melt or something. So they're fighting. Finally, Mando disarms them, gets him down, doesn't kill him. He's like, "I'm taking you with me."
Yeah, I thought he would, but
yeah, I thought he. Why not? Fuck it.
Well, because they got to leave somebody.
He's tried to kill you numerous times.
They got to leave him alive because they need some storyline in season 3.
I guess. He takes them to meet up with everyone else, and Bo-Katan's like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, what happened?
And he's like, "What?" He's like, "What?" Like, took care of business here, and it's all like part of, like Moff Gideon's like 2 steps ahead of everybody. He's like, you weren't supposed to beat me. Like, you weren't supposed. Like, she can't just take that back. So you're the rightful heir to the Mandalorian throne.
He is, but she didn't earn it the first time she took it. It was given to her the first time. So
was it? See, I haven't seen any of that.
Yeah. So what I don't understand is why does she have to take it in battle now, if it was handed to her and she took it the first time? I'm just that's somebody.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe the person that gave it to her the first time, it was like I'm an old person, I'm handing it down type of situation.
Maybe, I don't know. Somebody needs to answer that question for us. Right in,
because he was like, yeah, she has to win it in battle because this isn't this weapon has no power. The power comes from the story that is told, like basically the blood that it's spilt.
I would have
And he's
extended
like,
the show by handing it to him, saying, "Go at it."
yeah,
Take your
yeah,
turn.
that's what I thought. I was like, give it back to him. Like,
Yeah.
fuck it, let her cut his head off.
Yep.
Um,
Just put it in his hand and let her go to town. Don't even uncuff him.
he was like, fine, we're fighting. I fucking yield. Here you go. And she's like, nah, like, so like,
Yep.
is that like a heel turn? Like she's gonna be a bad guy in the next season or something?
I don't know, because it's all about perception. It's really not a big deal if you look at it, but in her mind, she didn't earn it, so she's not the heir to the throne. But if she
Also, clearly, it doesn't have to be to the death because he has it now, and he didn't kill Moff Gideon. He just disarmed him.
So take a little
sweep his fucking leg and just take it from him.
right. Just punch him right in the noggin and let's go. I don't know. I don't know why.
Yeah,
but
yeah, it was very odd.
They left it wide open, so I'm gonna guess that next season's gonna start with some kind of turmoil between the two of them.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
The computers start going crazy. Moff Gideon kind of like lays on a gun from one of the dead bodies that's in that room. And,
he's like, Chicken Man's hiding some shit.
The sensors indicate that all the Dark Troopers are coming back from outer space. They're rocket booting their way back.
Because they're very Tony Starkish right now.
Yeah, they're very Iron Man.
Very
and they all
Iron
come
Man.
right to the bridge. They're banging on the door. Gideon pops up, shoots Bo-Katan a few times.
Yeah.
Tries to shoot Grogu, but Mando jumps in the way. And then tries to shoot himself, but Cara Dune fucking beats the shit out of him with her rifle.
I can't believe he was gonna off himself. I was like, holy shit.
Right up under the chin.
Yeah, I mean, he was gonna do it right.
Yeah. But those doors are coming down as soon as all hope's lost. You hear the computers go off again. It's an X-wing. It's just one lonely X-wing.
And that's what.
Yeah,
she's like, "What? Great. What's that gonna do?"
Yeah, one X-wing. We're saved. But a cloaked figure gets off the X-wing, makes its way towards the bridge. He's fires up a green lightsaber, starts slashing these motherfuckers left and right. Just fucking Dark Troopers shooting everywhere. It's very much being compared to, and it is filmed very much like the Darth Vader scene from Rogue One.
Oh, absolutely. Yep.
And that's exactly what it's supposed to like pay homage to.
Yep. And I think they did a phenomenal job. And I'm telling you, I started to jump up and down in my seat as soon as the lightsaber came on.
Yeah. Force crushing robots, throwing robots into shit. Finally gets to the bridge, and it's none other than Luke Skywalker. Digitally de-aged Luke Skywalker.
It was I watched the whole thing on it. They, instead of doing like 3D mapping like they did with Targan, they did like the deep fake, which that's why it didn't look as good.
Yeah, because it's not even Mark Hamill.
It's a stand-in with Mark Hamill's face.
Yeah. That Mark Hamill never had the divot that was in that chin. That was you could fucking build a swimming pool in. But he's the Jedi. He's the one answering Grogu's call. Grogu's like freaking out, petting the fucking monitors as he's making his way to the room.
Well, they were saying that he was communicating with Luke, letting Luke know where he is, where the dark troopers were. That's what he was doing through the screen.
Luke's very, very focused on what he's doing. There's no chit chat, no bullshit. He's like, I'm here for that kid. And Mando's like, he doesn't really seem to want to go with you. And Luke's like, no, he just wants your permission to know it's okay. So they have a little heart-to-heart. Grogu kind of mimes that he wants Mando to take his helmet off. Mando takes his helmet off. Very sad, very touching. He's touching his face. And Mando tells him, like, when all this is done, like, we'll meet again. Like, I promise everything's going to be okay. And then fucking R2-D2 rolls on in.
Yeah.
For some stupid reason.
Hey, he's the sidekick.
Yeah, but I don't much care for droids. I'm like Mando. I don't much care for droids. They don't do anything now that I'm not a child. Like,
Josh says we don't serve your kind here.
I'd rather have Grogu than fucking R2D2.
No, R2's just Luke's sidekick, knowing that he's still there with him.
So then Luke just takes the child, and that's hit credits. But then this episode we have a bonus after credits scene.
Oh shit, I was already in the middle of texting Josh about how much this show blew my mind. And then I'm like, wait, it's still on.
Yeah, I was like, after credits, you're about to get your mind blown even more. We're in Jabba's palace. I don't know what his name is. It's the white-looking alien guy with the big long tail hanging off his head.
Yeah,
but now he's getting all
this guy who's
now he's getting all fat. Like, is he just trying to take after Jabba now that he's in charge of Jabba's palace?
Yeah, he doesn't get off that chair and he just eats.
Yeah, he was like Jabba's right-hand man, but now his face is all fat. What is her name? Mulan?
Yeah.
Ming No M. I don't know her character. I always forget her character's name.
Yeah, I can't remember her character.
She comes down the stairs, and they're just basically like, who are you? What do you want? And then Boba Fett comes down the stairs, and then they start or Ming No M kills everybody, frees the slave girl. Boba Fett comes down the stairs. That guy's like, oh, Boba Fett, what's up, buddy? I thought you were dead. Like, what's going on? Boba Fett kills that dude immediately. Throws his body out of his chair and
takes the throne.
Takes the throne. We get a text that says the Book of Boba Fett coming December 2021, and Disney just tweeted out today the official logo. And that it's not. This isn't season 3 of The Mandalorian. This is a separate series following Boba Fett. Yep,
definitely a spinoff. I'm super excited about it. Can't wait to do these on the Book of Boba.
It's gonna be so fucking cool.
Yeah.
So before we just jump in and grade this, since this is the season finale, let's talk about what happened a little bit here.
Sure.
Action-packed, fantastic, filmed perfectly. Everything was good, but let's talk about the ending. Are you happy? I mean, it's good to see Luke, but are you happy it was Luke? Does that storyline wise really make a whole lot of sense?
Sure, because we still don't know what Luke was doing after Return of the Jedi, all the way up until we saw him just recently. We know that he started the new Jedi training and trained Leia for a while, but I'm super happy to see him with him. I was hoping for somebody a little different, somebody new, like Ezra Miller not Miller,
the Flash,
not Miller, whatever his name is, Ezra something.
Yeah,
Ezra, whatever from the cartoons. To know that he's alive, because he's still out there somewhere.
Yeah, Ezra Bridger.
Bridger. That's the word I was looking for. Ezra Miller.
Just choking Cara Dune into the ground. Piece of shit. I was happy to see Luke and stuff, and it's super cool that he made an appearance in the show and everything, but it's just like, for me, it's like, it pushes the knife in a little more deeply that they fucked up the new trilogy so bad.
Well, so that
like,
just
they've ruined Luke so much that it's like, oh, okay, so he's going to take him to the new Jedi Order, in which we already know he failed and it got burned to the ground.
Right, but here's the best part. That gives us Grogu back.
Yeah, or Grogu died.
I don't think so. I think there'll be a storyline with the failure, and then he'll come back.
I don't know. All of this, I'd be so much more hopeful if this was like the first thing we had seen.
Yeah.
Like before the new trilogy.
Yeah.
Like that would have set up a lot of hope. Like it still burns my ass. Like, you just took Luke, who was the biggest hero for the longest time, and made him like, well, things got tough, and then he went and hid like a coward, and then he died.
Well, Obi-Wan did the same thing.
No, Obi-Wan was protecting somebody.
Barely.
He was protecting the future that this could happen.
He was protecting the future failure? I mean,
so then they just flushed it all down the toilet.
Yeah.
Like, it would have been much better, if Luke had just a Jedi Order and then some darkness rose. Or it was even something more intense where, like, Ben Solo killed his wife, and then out of depression and everything, and like hopelessness, then he went into exile and everything.
Right.
But it's like not when you're the only hope for the galaxy, and you're like, fuck this shit.
Fuck the galaxy. I'm done. Well, he felt like he failed, so he decided to go into exile. I mean, that's what happens when you're a failure.
I think I would have liked Ezra. I would have liked the kid from the video game from last year.
I don't know much about that one. I wouldn't mind seeing him. He's definitely alive still during this era.
Yeah. I would have liked it a lot if they had never announced the Ahsoka episode was coming and that she had been the one that showed up to train him.
It would have been cool. Yeah.
That way we just wouldn't have known like where the story's going to go. Like with this, I'm just like, well, Luke eventually fails. So this isn't like if Grogu's powerful and if he's around and if he's trained, you would assume he'd show up to help Rey.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's still great. It was still great. You know, it's great fan service. It's great to see that they're willing to do stuff like that. So,
I mean, that's a big hammer to drop too. So what's next?
I just, it's like, get the fuck away from the Skywalker story now. Like everything doesn't have to be linked. Like you won't be having people be so critical of you if you stop trying to fuck with what they loved. Like,
right.
Move away from it, like move to a different time period, move to like this has been completely Skywalker free up until this point. Like you could have like just left it alone. So if it's one and done, that's fine. I'm still let's rate this bitch. How many Baby Yodas out of 5 are we giving this? Yeah, it's still 5, even though I have an issue with that. Like, and I'm not the only one. It seems to be very divisive online. Like people don't know how to feel.
Well,
but, I
had all sorts of...
Everyone still thinks it's great.
I had all sorts of feels. I mean, I cried. I got goosebumps.
Sad Pedro Pascal.
So now, like I said to you, we don't get any type of closure on the Darksaber.
No,
what happens with...
No, they're having that whole thing with Luke and Bo-Katan's just sitting there bleeding out on the ground.
Right. So what's next? I mean, she's not dead. Yeah. So where's that story going? And that's what I'm hoping, season 3 needs to come out swinging with that story.
Yeah, I'm wondering if this will actually all lead to like the resurrection of Mandalore.
That's probably what they're heading for.
Yeah,
definitely.
Because that planet, it's like a wasteland now, but maybe they'll like establish on a new planet or something.
So maybe her and Mando will get together.
Start bumping uglies.
Bumping uglies and producing.
Yeah. What did we say before? He's gonna check out her universal docking station. All right. That one. Season 2 was fantastic. This is for the season finale, but we will be back. I don't know if it'll be next week or the week after with a whole season wrap up. With we have some friends coming on to do that. That's gonna be fun. You can, if you like this show, you can download our podcast. We have podcasts, 4 Nerds by Nerds podcast, every Monday, and lots of bonus episodes available pretty much everywhere. We're on Twitter, FNBN podcast. We are on Instagram and Facebook, FNBN, the number 4 and the letter U. We have a very special Christmas episode that's going to be coming out probably on Christmas.
Yeah.
Maybe Christmas Eve. We'll see.
Super excited.
Yeah. So I'm Josh.
I am Ben.
And this has been your 4 Nerds by Nerds Mandalorian Minute.
May the Force be with you.
Hell yeah. Stay nerdy, my friends.
Peace out, brother.